We are up and running.
We are up and running.
What's up? Sup, guys?
Another episode of Typology Odyssey today.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast.
And not at our usual timing. We're trying out
We are,
some things new.
yeah, we're trying out some things, I'm not just saying. Anyway, guys.
Oh, there it is. There's the hat.
It looks like a fucking. It's gonna be very warm in this hat. Very warm. It will be very warm. What's up, guys? I like it. I respect those people because first thing that they do is to shoot with the questions. They don't care.
They've been waiting. We missed their question.
Patiently waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas to all of you. Bro is jolly. Listen.
Uh-oh.
Okay, maybe I am jolly. Do you think sexual 4 works for an EIE as well as an ESI? Listen, correlations at the end of the day are boring, but if I ignoring sexual 4 is it's once you understand socionics, you kind of realize how just nonsensical this combination is, just by elements themselves. So EIE submits its personal attitudes to the environment. Does that sound like a sexual 4 who will literally say they fucking hate you or they love you regardless? No. Okay. I want to hear your opinion about the social 3 IE. I think again, people have made such a big deal of this new correlation that people see because some kind of famous user posts it, and at the end of the day, every person here, Ring, anyone else, even in the chat that's active, has their own correlation list. To be honest, not all of them agree. So it isn't that special that someone came with their own proposed list that they believe in personally. Now, to me, Social 3 does not work with IE. It is not an NE base. It is not an irrational type. And the way I see it, it's just typing by the superego. That's all it is. And I don't think it's that complicated, What do you think? I don't believe it exists. Maybe Ring can be good with this. What are some good examples of people and characters that break the stereotype of their enneagram?
Oh,
Ring,
absolutely.
What do you think?
I got you. To my fans out there, in the West, it's called Money Heist. In everywhere else, it's La Casa de Papel.
La Casa de Papel.
La Profesor. Social 6. I know people out there wanted him to be some sort of social 5 or even some sort of E1 reformer. That dude is a social 6. And I think he's a great example of because people think of the social 6 as this kind of an NPC like subtype. And social 6 is one of my favorite types in the Enneagram. La Profesor from Money Heist, La Casa de Papel.
Yep.
That guy is a great example of someone who breaks that mold. Another example, I'll give you one more, of a social 7, Erwin Smith from Attack on Titan. I thought he was a social 1. Some people thought he was E3. Some people thought he was even E6. But if you look at the neurotic fixation of Erwin Smith, he is a social 7 and a great example of that as well. So those are my 2 for you for that question.
That's amazing. And let me think if I think any type breaks the stereotypes. If anything comes to my mind, I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure. Let's move on. So there's some other good questions. I think we should address how to differentiate SP8 and sexual 1. Sometimes it seems the cores are not enough.
Ooh. That's a good question.
I feel like I don't want to be that guy because I'm gonna sit here and tell you they're not that similar, and every person who thinks they're okay, every guy who's confused between SP8 and sexual 8 is always a sexual 1. Like any guy who, I'm sorry, my brain, right? Sexual 1 and SP8. Any guy who's confused between those two types, from my experience, always ends up being a sexual 1. I've never seen a case where he's considering sexual 1 and SP8 where they're actually an SP8. I mean, it will exist, but it's rare. Okay, I know me and Ring know an SP8. We play together. I could never type him a 1 core, sexual 1, regardless. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. So I don't think that they're that similar. But I'm also the guy who was kind of being like, no, Ambessa is an SP8, and everyone else is like, no, Ambessa is a sexual 1. So it's kind of like, fuck, I understand the confusion. But to me, at the end of the day, the SPA is not this rigid, fucking tense, perfectionistic guy who is a civilized character, right? This is not how they are. And I think Naranjo even says that the 8 is under, what did they say, like antisocial or something, or, some even say that one is amoral and the other is like hyper moralistic, although that obviously is not true either. So that's my take. What do you think about that, Ray? What would you say is like the easiest way to differentiate the SP and the sexual 1?
I think I even wanted to address the question itself, because for SP8 and sexual 1, sometimes it seems like the core is not enough. I would actually say that the core in this case is enough, especially if you look at E8 and E1.
Yeah.
I know where the confusion is coming from. We're looking at two very assertive types. Generally tends to be more on the logical spectrum when we talk about Jungian, right?
Yeah.
The problem really comes from the justice mechanism. Now, everyone is really getting on board with this E8 has this justice aspect, which was very much neglected for such a long time. Yes, E8 has a strong justice mechanism, and that used to be E1 territory. But here is the big kicker between E1 and E8. The E8 is someone who has a personal sense of justice. This is not created by society or intelligentsia or some other person made it, and they've adopted it. Occasionally, sure, but generally speaking, the E8 is defined by their personal sense of justice. Where the E1 also is a pro-social person who believes in justice. So they conform, adapt, and create standards to share with others on how to be,
appropriateness. The SPA is gonna be much more antisocial, Like, it's an individual who's not going to give a fuck about the rules half as much as the sexual 1. Or what's appropriate, traditions and bullshit. No. If this is the guy who you steal his maybe this guy, and I've heard literal examples from real life individuals, right, who are SP8. You maybe take their stuff, like, you owe them some money. This is the type of a guy who will call you and tell you, hey man, about the money, where's the money? Because you told me about the money. I don't see the money, where is it? Oh, fuck, this money thing. Oh, okay, we should meet up. And that's what he wants to meet up, intimidate the guy, and maybe even beat the fucking shit out of him. And that's not a sexual 1. Sexual 1 is gonna be like, sexual 1 is not gonna call a fucking dude, ask for the fucking money, and then intimidate him, try to scare him, and even show up potentially to a fight. It's not gonna be the sexual 1. So the SPA is much more antisocial and less proper. That's the fucking easiest way I can say it. Way less fucking proper.
That's a great way of explaining it. I want to give the chat one small thing that they can use. Chat, please don't abuse this, okay? I want you guys to think of this as nuanced. When I want you to think of the E8, think civil disobedience. And when you think of the E1, think civil obedience. Please do not overuse that, but I want you to start seeing that differentiation, and you're going to notice that the sexual 1, no matter how lustful it is a civilized, obedient person to a standard that they share with their society of their choosing.
Yeah,
That's
while the 8 is much more like rebellious, antisocial, going against the norms, you
hmm
know, breaking the norms of tradition, even sometimes feeling like they will have a compulsion to rebel against those norms and tradition pushed by society, and having not caring about those norms, like completely being like, fuck those norms, you trying to push that shit on me, it's not gonna work. So that's gonna happen.
Absolutely. Great question.
Great question, guys. Rusted or Ring? I'm gonna answer, then we're gonna let Ring answer. Are you into? Are you into? My English is so fucked today. Jesus Christ, my brain. Any philosophical concepts? Does it grasp your interest? I've had periods where I was looking into different philosophies. You know, we have absurdism, nihilism, and all of those different concepts, but also Stoicism. So I was definitely reading, and I had interest. But this is, I wouldn't say it's like a deep, I'm a philosophy person and I'm interested in learning this philosophy. More like, okay, well, what kind of philosophies are there? Okay, which philosophy do I fit? You know, which kind of makes sense with the way I view the world. So it was kind of also as a tool to understand myself through this kind of systematic way of thinking. So for me,
Interesting.
it's an
Interesting.
interesting concept. I don't mind, like, if I'm in a, you know, talking to someone, we talk about different philosophies, I can have a conversation about that and I can go into that. But is it something I focus on and read in my free time? Not really, you know. It's more so something that I learned and I moved on, you know. So that's my opinion. Ring, what do you think? What's your take on this philosophical concept thing?
I just wanted to say I felt like I learned more about you there. I didn't even realize you researched so many different, schools of philosophy. Of course,
Yeah.
you learned it and you're like, okay, cool, I got it. I'm
Right.
out, It wasn't something that held your attention, You're
No,
not
it
gonna
was
debate
like,
about it.
I wouldn't, like some people really just talk about philosophy and the concept and go deeper. They read
Yeah.
the books. I didn't read the books, I didn't read shit, but I was just learning, almost like go on YouTube explaining the fundamentals of a philosophy, of this X, Y, and Z philosophy, to understand it without like fixating too much on it, you know? So
hmm
you have a general grasp, and if people want to discuss this, you know, you have a similar understanding, and you understand how you fit into this. You understand how you fit. What's your worldview? You know, how do we define your worldview?
hmm
Because I feel like a lot of those philosophies or things, it's also about finding yourself and finding how you really think. You know, your motivation or whatever the fuck. How is it that the way you view the world? Even with typology, how do you view the world? You know, I do find that very interesting.
Yeah, that's extremely intriguing. I actually have a very similar experience to you. Just to answer the question myself, I have been always very attracted initially to philosophical schools, thoughts, ideas, and sometimes they really change the way I see things, almost like a really good movie, right? Um, but here's my thing. Once I get into any philosophy, I just as I was really like enticed by it, I start to reject it. I start seeing the holes. I start seeing the rigidity sometimes. It becomes unrealistic to me. And once it starts detaching itself from reality, it
Mm,
just doesn't have that same pull
right.
that it used to have.
Mm, mm.
Um, I think
Okay.
most of the chat doesn't notice about me, but I was very much into Buddhism for 2 3 years of my life, and I really got into
Right.
one of the more popular philosophies. What was it called? Positive nihilism, where it's like this feeling of like nothing matters, but that's a good thing because that means you can define your own. You could define your own way of living and what matters to you. And that was really interesting for a long time. But once again, I feel like all philosophies, personally for me, they become incongruent once you analyze the whole like structure. So I'm not big into philosophy, and I
Right.
definitely don't like debating philosophy. That
Right.
that
Right.
always is a snooze fest for me.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to debating stuff like philosophy, it's fun to do it for like 15 minutes, but then you're going in circles, and it's like there's only so much we can talk about the concepts, and at some point you're hitting a wall. And for me, it's like I was obsessed. Like, I want to find the truth, you know. Like, I want to find the truth. And if I'm looking at those, what is the meaning of life? The truth. Okay? And it's like, I'm looking. But then when it comes to philosophy, it's like, you will not find the answer. And I realized people who are into philosophy, it's not about finding the answer to understand the concept, to truly grasp it, to get the truth. It's just about a search that never gets satisfied, a search that never will end, that will never end. There's no finish line when it comes to being a philosopher. It's just in circle constantly. And for me, it's kind of like, well, I want to understand the meaning of life, So you're saying it's a pursuit that never ends, and I feel that that's my relationship with the truth. Always trying to obtain it, but and having this fucked up feeling like, I need to get it. So circle jerking it to seek for it, but then realizing I can't find it and it's not possible, and it's like this back and forth. That's how it is for me. It's annoying. But let's move to different questions. Renjiro asks, how would you tell apart a social 8 from a sexual 8? For me, honestly, it's with 8s, it's kind of a hard thing, and I feel like you need to understand that for an 8, you likely share like 80% of traits with every other subtype. So the fact is, 8s are kind of just boring in a sense, because all of the subtypes kind of look the same to a big degree. Now, if I was to differentiate the social 8 and the sexual 8, is how social 8 is guided by complicity. And I know it's simple. Well, yeah, complicity is the core thing of the social 8, so I guess that makes sense. But it is really easy to know that it is the social 8 rather than the sexual 8. So this, social 8 always looks at relations. Where does this person stand? My friend, my foe? Do I want to be close to them? Where are we? But as the complicity name suggests, they always are involving other people in something that they're doing. There's something that they're doing. The best example is a gang leader. That's like the most basic example, a gang leader, or like a football team leader, or someone, the guy who they're group of friends, and maybe they're breaking fucking windows. There's vandals, kind of, right? And there's this leader who kind of tells them, yeah, we need to fucking do it together. Let's fucking do this shit together. We're gonna break some fucking shit. We're gonna rob those fucking people because they thought they can fucking do this shit to us. So let's fucking show them who's the boss. And there's this complicity, like it's all about like us, all of us in this together, united under this banner. And if those people do something to one of you, it's like doing it to me. So we have to do something about that. We need to fight them. We need to fuck shit up. So lust is always going to be present in every 8. But the social 8 involves others to then direct lust into something. So I'm not fucking shit up. Now we can fuck shit up. We can fuck shit up. This is the perfect fucking scenario, So it's like you're involving others into this kind of lustful activities in a sense. It's not you anymore. It's you and everyone else. And I was also struggling with the differentiating between sexual 8 and social 8 for me. But when I really look at every single thing, your neurosis, this is the most important part. Your neurosis, what you have always been doing, how you form those relations. For me, it's always was group. And I was very stereotypical even when I was young. Honor, loyalty, we cannot betray one another. We in this shit together. So it's very stereotypical. And once I thought about that shit, I'm like, I can be provocative, I can be mean, I can be whatever the fuck, which is sexual 8, but at the end of the day, all my relations are created through this medium of complicity. And that's what kind of helped me figure out the differentiate. I'm rambling. Hopefully it's easy enough for you to understand. But Rain can kind of, if you have anything to add, you can add.
Yes, yeah, I have nothing to add because you explained it really well. That was great.
Thank you. Let's go further. Let me see. There was some kind of question I wanted to. Wait, oh man, it's lagging. Okay, sorry. Thoughts on healthier individuals. The types of fixations. How far can someone get from them? This is a good one, man. This is
That's
a good one.
I like this one.
Thoughts on typing healthy individuals. I think the biggest misunderstanding that people in typology have, and you see this sometimes when they read Enneagram and they're like, I don't relate to any type, I'm healthy. It's like, that's not how this works. A healthy person will still have neurotic moments. And this is what you guys need to understand about the neurosis. A neurotic state isn't just a state that is constant. It might be when but it doesn't have to be. You can have moments when you're indulging in the neurosis. You are in a neurotic state. So even a healthier individual, when you apply pressure, when they are feeling down, when something happens, they will always have a moment of them interacting with the neurotic need. This is just how it works. Obviously, depending on the individual, the extent is different, right? So they will still do it, but the extent of and the severity of it will be different. Might be not as damaging, but the patterns of behaviors are always there. And I'll be honest with you. I'll be really honest. I feel like I've grown a lot. I feel like I'm developed and I'm relatively healthy compared to most 8s I know. Nearly all of them. I have the self-awareness, and it took a lot of time. But does that mean if I look at my life and people know me, they will be like, oh wow, he's so healthy? They will still be able to look at what I do and be like, Rust, you're being neurotic right now. That's the neurotic need. That's the social A shit. That's the social, and you will still see that in me despite me being healthier. But the difference is it's being channeled in a more positive way. It's not being extreme. You're not just, it's like an addiction in a sense. You're not just letting go and be like, I'm a fucking addict. Fuck it. Let me more and more and more. It's like when I indulge in it, I see how bad it is. I'm aware of it intellectually, even though it feels right. I mean, it feels so fucking right. It feels so correct for me to do that. But I cannot do that because I know if I do that, it will not help me grow. So I'm aware of that, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna, So being healthy is 24/7 type of shit. You will always struggle, and you always try to fight against your bad attitudes. But it's a constant battle. That's the way I would personally view this. Rain, what you think?
What's good? I think you explained that really well. I just want to say, June, the way you asked this question, that types are fixations and how far someone can get from them, is such a great question because it derives from a great mindset. You're not identifying necessarily with being an Enneagram subtype, like this subtype is me. You're thinking of it as an obstacle or a challenge that one can grow from. So first of all, bravo. One thing we can guarantee, if you take one thing away from Typology Odyssey, is know that Typology, especially Enneagram, is a tool for transformation and growth and becoming healthier people.
Yeah.
And more satisfied as a result. So great question.
For sure.
I think that naturally, as people get older, with introspection, patience, and even self-love, that people naturally become less neurotic. I talked to this with Russ before, and I believe that you can never truly escape your fixation because it's locked into like a part of you, which is the same place where your childhood is located. But you can reduce the effect that it has on you to the point that it can only manifest under very deep psychological stress.
Perfect.
Great question.
Perfect. And it's so funny because me and Rain, I feel like we bond over the fact of the social subtype issues. We do bond a lot over that, like I see you, like I recognize what's happening because sometimes I feel the same way. I have the same struggles. So there's a lot of overlap. But sometimes we hold each other accountable because sometimes I look at him and I see behaviors and I'm like, you're just being you right now, and I know it feels normal to react this way, but let me just point out that you are definitely indulging in your neurotic need right now. And it's helpful. He does the same for me. And my wife does the same for me. I hate it. I might hate it in the moment. I might be like, fuck, but such a great idea. I just want to do that, And it's like, no, you need more balance. You need balance. You just don't be extreme. Just you don't need to mass decapitate everyone and be have triumph, create a fucking army and decapitate everyone. No, just be normal. Just be in the middle. Just have balance. And it's like, but balance is the most boring thing ever.
Oh, so mundane.
What does balance even fucking mean? I don't feel like I'm alive when there's balance. Like I wanna do things and go with it. So we all like we hold each other accountable, and that's what you'd hope from your friends or anyone. If you have a friend who knows typology and just jerks off to it on the daily and is not telling you, hey bro, what you did there, I'm gonna show you some quotes. You're kind of doing what your type is doing when it's not as healthy. You know, I'm not criticizing you. It's literally because I want to help you. It's for your own good, you know. We help each other and shit. But most people don't fucking do that. Most people, I go on PDB, I just see a bunch of fucking self-identity obsessed neurotic people who are just there to jerk themselves off to their ever-changing identity. One day they're an LSI, another day they're a fucking SCE. So most people misuse typology because typology attracts the wrong people. That's the sad part. It attracts people who are just want to confirm their identity rather than grow. And that's the fucking problem.
Extremely well said. Extremely well said.
Let me see. Do you think Enneagram less or psychosophy less people exist? I've never thought too deeply about this thing. I feel like I've seen people who claim to be Enneagram less, neurotic, mentally ill. And then I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, you're not Enneagram less, you're mentally ill. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. You know, you're not. Okay, you're not. In my opinion, it's probably bullshit. In my opinion, it's probably fucking bullshit. When I hear something like that, I get triggered and I immediately think this prick wants to feel special, like he doesn't fit fucking anything. I bet $10 he fits something. You know, like come on. That's my take. What's up?
I will say this. I think it's more from a structural standpoint. I think the way you could look at it, instead of someone being Enneagram-less or
that's a bit too much. Yeah, I'm typeless.
I would see it from the perspective of you don't, in your current state, your current understanding of yourself,
literally
fit into any of the structures of any of the types.
It's either you misunderstand yourself in relation to theory, right? So shit self-insight. Because people think typing is easy. No. Listen. Typing, you have to understand yourself and you have to understand theory. That's two separate things that you have to understand. Now, you have to understand a third component, which is understanding yourself in relation to theory.
Fuck, dude.
Which is incredibly fucking difficult. So I would likely say that this person is not Enneagram-less. No. It's simply someone who has very trash understanding of themselves in relation to this theory. Because you have a theory, you have to apply it. And sometimes it's difficult. Because your flaws might not be visible to you. But they might be visible to your husband, to your wife, to your boyfriend, to your girlfriend, to your friends. Right? So that's an important thing to know. I don't trust special snowflakes. Okay, let's go further. But if I allow you to learn things, easiest way to differentiate, I don't give a fuck. That's boring. Well, easiest way to differentiate LIE Social 3, LIE Social 7, I would say, again, like we said many times, Social 7 is aware of its image and of its fraudulence. Social 3 lives and breathes its image. Simple the fuck as, we don't overcomplicate it. How does expressiveness work with some types? Is it based on FE? Expressiveness can be based on multitude of factors. But yes, it can be related to FE. Obviously, FE demonstrative types tend to be more expressive. But not every SCE is going to be the exactly same in expression, but they will generally be expressive people. Would I say that they will come across as calm? I would say that's a bit weird for them to come across as calm. Generally, they can have moments when they're calm and indifferent and even cold, but I wouldn't really use the word calm to describe them because they're easily excitable. So, you know, I'm kind of... I mean, would you look at choleric sanguine temperament and think, wow, he's calm? No, you know. That doesn't mean he can be, but calm is not the word you fucking use. Obviously, I'm not saying all of them are the same way, but I'm talking about generally, right? Question for Ring specifically. This, oh my god, fuck, I hate the difference. Oh my god, okay. You know what the fucking pain I felt? I'm like, can you describe the difference? I hate describing the differences sometimes. You know, it's like social. Yeah, oh my god. And then it's like, because it's it's going in fucking circles.
Okay, so here's what you do. Okay, this is how you differentiate these two types. You take out everything that's in common with them. First of all, both socials, take that out. Both VLFE, take that out. What you have left, E1 versus E7. Look into the core differences, and E1 will not be confused at the core level with an E7. And there you go. I'm not answering the latter one because I honestly, the only correlation I mildly care about these days is with the LIE and Social 7 because it was a new one and it needed additional information, but it's not the focus that I like to keep. So I'm not going to answer that last question. But okay. You want to answer E1 versus E7 is how you answer this in particular.
Simply, we always say, guys, fundamentalism.
Enneagram, fundamentalism.
Always look at... Okay. I always, to give you an example of what we mean when we say fundamentalism. When you try to fixate, right? Let's say you zoom into an object and you don't take a broad differentiation. You zoom in and you fixate on specific traits. And then you're like, well, I have this specific trait, but I also have that other specific trait. But then I feel like I have both. And you are being confused because you're too zoomed in. Take a broad difference and look at the difference between rigid. For example, someone's rigid, someone is relaxed, someone is very, very conscientious, someone lacks any conscientiousness. Do you see how easy it would be to tell the difference between a lazy fucking bum who is disorganized versus a guy who is hyper fucking rigid and gets his shit done? You couldn't mistake those two things. But if I fixated on specific details, you might be like, I'm not sure if I have that. Always take a broader area of looking in the types. That's why fundamentalism works. 1 versus 7, big difference, very big difference. Do not get fooled by the social 7. I'm so conscientious. The social 7 will do everything to minimize the work that they put in. They will do anything to fucking slack off and do whatever the fuck they want that they enjoy. And they will use TE, they will use those tactics, create methods, quick methods to elevate and get rid of this mundane, boring fucking task as soon as possible. So they're not even similar to the conscientious, hyper-disciplined motherfucker who thinks things should be done properly. No, it's still an irresponsible guy who wants to have fucking fun. You just kind of buy the fact that he is so disciplined, he really puts in so much work. He's just very smart at being a charlatan in this regard, you know? So I just had to kind of say that. Let's move on. Don't you think that doing your neurotic need is something good? Like social aid can save the world by doing something because they have more energy. You are misunderstanding the neurotic need of the social aid, which is common. And I don't think I'm not blaming you. That the neurotic need of social aid isn't helping people. You know, it's like, well, the social aid, he's just my best friend and he just wants to help people. Well, if he genuinely just wants to help people, maybe you're looking at the wrong type. Because the neurotic need of the social aid is complicity. It's not just he wants to do good by the fucking people. And what is the social aid driven by? Lust. What is lust? Is lust related to helping people? No, lust, if we really think about, is excess. It's triumph, it's dominance, it's intensity, it's the excessiveness of action, right? Now, you kind of combine it with the social aid. Yes, you have complicity, you have this like, we're brothers, we are in this shit together, we need to fight the oppressors, we need to do this. But at the end of the day, to be honest with you, they want to have a reason to fight. They want to fight something. Every aid wants to fight something, and every aid is a fighter. And I'm not saying literally, but they want to fight something, right? So the social 8 is gonna fight too. But the difference is they're gonna take a group of people, they're gonna be like, this is bad. Guys, fucking look at this shit. We need to fuck this shit up for sure, you know? And then we need to take their place. So then we can fuck shit up even more and do whatever the fuck we want. Because fuck them. They're trying to do something bad here. We are better, right? We can do this. We can do this right, the way this should be done. And it's like, you're not really helping anyone. You are just a selfish prick who is power hungry and kind of bands people together to act on this like greater fucking cause. Social aid when it comes to helping is overrated and selfish. I'm sorry, I need to tell you this. Selfish as fuck. It is someone, I'm not even saying this for my own like thing. In Naranjo, in the book 27 Personalities in Search of Being, right? Or even in the therapy book, I forgot the name. You know, in the therapy book, it literally says that the social aid puts himself in this position of this rescuer, the savior, who's gonna be there and gonna help you. By invading you, invasively saying what you need to do this shit, I'm gonna do this shit for you, you need to stand up, you need to fight. But they do this and they put themselves in position of power over you. And now you owe them shit. Now, because they did this shit to you, you better pull up. You better be loyal to them. Is this healthy? Is this good? No, that's not good, and that's not healthy. And I do not believe that this type should be glamorized. I don't believe this type should be circle jerked. I'm exhausted of going on PDB, seeing social aid, on being on the tier list of the best buddies. They've never dealt with a social aid, and when they do, they start saying he's a social aid. He's an SPA. So that's kind of that shit what happens, you know. So social aid is a fucking circle jerk, and they're one of the most damaging types. If they are in power and they're not healthy and they're not, trust me, full megalomaniac delusional prick.
Chat, I love it when you guys add E8 to your questions. I love Russ here popping off and speaking the truth here. So thank you all for asking those questions. I just want to add a little bit to this question, not too much more. There's this giant concept of what you explained here. I think you're getting close to this. As we're talking about philosophy earlier, you're very close to the concept of utilitarianism, where is this just a net good for people, even though this person doesn't have the best intentions? It has led to a net good for the world.
Right, the outcome, I guess.
Yeah, the outcome, you know, the ends justify the means. And I'll tell you this, you know, your motivations, the reason why you do things, even if there was a good net good at the end, there is a deeper fundamental virtue of doing right things for the right reasons, and that will lead, even if it's not directly, indirectly will cause havoc and chaos if your intentions are not good, even if your outcome was. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
Also it's like, yeah, you know, a social aid can do many things that are good, but what about the people who maybe stood at the opposite side of the social aid? Do you think they think that it was good too? Right? Maybe they did good because, you know, you are this country, you are in this community. They fought for this community, for this country. But how many people did they harm? Or maybe in this war for the righteous cause, the opposition was eliminated. The opposition suffered. So I feel like good is not that it's complex, you know, because they can have good intentions. They can do good for certain things, certain people, certain nations. But at the end of the day, someone has to suffer. Someone has to suffer. You go to war, you win, you saved your people. Yeah, but you crucified people, you fucking butchered people, you killed people. You know, you thought you're protecting your people, so you're gonna act with excess and self-righteousness. You're still causing harm, you know? So that's how I view it.
That's the interesting thing there, right, Russ?
Yeah.
You're I was gonna say social type. Your Enneatype, my Enneatype. Often people in the community see it as this virtuous subtype, like it's a good one to have, you know, like it's like, once again, for a utilitarian way, it's a net good. I'd rather have a social aid friend than a sexual aid friend. I'd rather have a social 7 friend than an SP7 friend, because for some reason they assign virtue to our subtypes, when even the social 7, who is going to be fraudulent, who is going to be non-committal, who is going to cheat and lie, but just have a great image projected onto you, who identifies with being a savior of and I'm quoting Naranjo here, an obsession with Christian imagery of saving others, is doing it for himself, themselves at the end of the day. Same with the social aid. They're selfish. They do it for themselves. And because of that, the outcome is never going to be pure, even if it isn't net good. So yeah,
Yeah,
great question.
great question, and don't be fooled by the social subtypes.
Those fucking social subtypes.
Those are fucking megalomaniacal fucking people. You give them a hand, they're gonna take fucking everything. They're gonna involve, you know. This is the thing. I mean, even for myself, and even in the community, even with typology, I'm a social aid, and when I look at myself and in the grand scheme of typology, sometimes I that's how I know I'm more healthy, because I like typology is just, I'm here to educate, I'm here to give people information so people can grow. But there's other part of me says, at the end of the day, in a way, this information, all of this shit is just a way to dominate people, like dominate space. Like at the end of the day, it's the same shit, Yes, I preach this shit, I say these things, but I can turn this into fucking typological domination. I can create a huge community. I can now then hone certain belief in people, loyalty, and then tell them, let's go everywhere and let's spread the presence as much as possible. So then we can silence everyone else. We can make everyone silent, and we can fucking decapitate everyone. We can have the most influence, and no one can do shit. But you see how subjugating that is? Do you see how just it loses the essence of what it would be for it to be typology? Like it's like a war, it's like a competition for triumph with typology disguised, and that's not what we're doing here. This is not what we want, So it's just so fucking funny. People have this social aid fucking circle jerk shit. What's up, my friend? What's your name? Theotube. Let's check further. June had a cool question. Do you think the instinctual stacking is useful for the more varied subtypes like Enneagram 4 and Enneagram 6? What do you think, Ray?
Do y'all think that instinctual stacking is useful for more varied subtypes? I will say, if you're a subscriber of modern Enneagram, the way the Naranjo team has approached IVs is quite essential. People in the community don't care about IVs. You should, because your subtypes and your favorite authors, especially Naranjo, utilize both IVs and the core Enneatypes to create the subtypes. It was never like this second thought that, okay, once we did it, we could let it go back. So it's really important. But in particular, if you're saying, okay, since E4 and E6 are some of the most different from each other, should we add the additional like secondary in there? Should I be looking at, if I'm a sexual 6, I should check from SXSO or SXSP? I think not. I think that it can get you into a territory that becomes kind of undefined, and it kind of takes away from insight. I think you should fixate on what is your core instinct and your core Enneatype, right?
Yeah.
And when you want to think about your secondary, and the way Naranjo's team does it is simply the second subtype in the same core that you believe in. So let's say, for example, you are a social 4. If you relate more to sexual 4 than SP4, you would simply be a social sexual E4. That's it. It's very simple like that. I think it has some insight to it. I wouldn't look to it until you're sure about what your core is. I wouldn't even think about it, personally.
Perfect answer. This is beautiful. To add users go beyond. Explain why you considered. No, it's. I still call it Rusted Nation, but I don't call it not. Okay, so I don't call it Rusted Nation with the neurotic need of the social aid. You know what I'm saying? I just call it because I like the name, but it lacks the true. The social aid fucking neurotic fucking response. Because if I really wanted, I would have created a huge fucking army, to be honest, which I've done, obviously, but don't tell anyone, because that would be like bad, because then the whole army would be exposed, and then like it would just be bad, so don't do that. But on a serious note, I just don't think creating this kind of thing is healthy, because that's not healthy for anyone, like we're not here to dominate people. this pains me to say that. We're not here to dominate anyone, and we're here not to triumph over others. We're here only to learn. That's why there's no nation. There's only love. Okay? Rusted love. That's what it is. Sexual 2. Just love. There's no mass decapitations. There's no self-righteous way. Nothing.
We're not having people line up as of
We
yet.
are not having people line up. We
that.
did consider that, just so you know. But we're not. It's a battle. It's an everyday battle. One day I wake up and I'm feeling like, yo, I feel like this guy disagrees with us. He should we decapitate him? He's disloyal, man. We should decapitate him. And everyone's like, yo, man, you losing your shit. I'm fucking around with you guys.
You know that joke that people say, "Oh my God, he woke up and chose violence."
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing with Rust here. Yeah. It would be the opposite way that would be surprising. Oh my God, he woke up and chose peace.
No, it's funny. People think it's the fight for peace is constant, and and the fight for peace is constant. And I want peace, but I also don't want peace. It's like it's back and forth. But I want everyone to. I believe in equal rights, and I believe that everyone should learn on their own accord. I believe people are free, and that is what helps me deal with it. And yeah, I just believe people are free, and I don't want to be a hypocrite, So that helps. That fucking helps. Rusted Nation checking out. Thank you. See, you're feeding the neurotic need. That's great. If all of you do that, that's gonna be bad, because then I'm like, yeah, Rusted fucking Nation, let's fucking go, PDP right now. No. Let's not go. Let's coexist. We're not here to eliminate anyone. We're not here to decapitate.
We're here to integrate. We're here to.
I love it. I do admit, when I hear integrate, there's a part of me that's like, what the fuck, integrate? Bro, we're not here to make friends. We're not here to make friends. We're here to carve our way. But yeah, it's all jokes. It's all fucking fun and games. Until it's not. Let's see. Baked. Ring, what are the most ever archetypal fictional examples of the social 7, social 2, social 8, and social 1 to you?
Oh man, there's so many of them. Okay. Let's do this shit, okay? For social 2, I know some people in recent times have been like, oh, maybe this person is actually like a social 3 or a social 7. I think it's wrong. For my anime fan lovers, we have Luke, from Code Geass, great social 2 example. If you want another one from Money Heist, aka La Casa de Papel, we have Berlin. Great social 2 examples. For social 8, I will say that a great example is actually from Vikings. Oh my God, I totally I'm forgetting his name. What is his name?
Bjorn. You were thinking Bjorn.
Bjorn. I know a lot of people think SP8 for that guy. He cheated on people, and he's a bad guy. And social 8s are not bad guys, but guess what? Social 8s are also bad guys.
Oh, what the fuck, bro?
I know, bro.
What the fuck,
social
bro?
8s are bad guys. No. But yeah, that's a great example. For Vikings, and you can tell he's so neurotically fixated on the image he provides to his people and how he connects to others. He's a great example of it. Archetypal fictional social 7, I got you, okay? I'll give you 2, right? One also from Vikings, Ragnar Lothbrok. My God. Those first couple of seasons,
he shows the negative
7.
sides of it too so well, man. He shows neurotic need. Yeah.
People are like, why isn't he SP8? He
that's
likes
crazy.
fighting people.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I'm like, no, bro. This guy is such a charlatan. He is such an idealistic charlatan. Social 7 fits him like a book. He's not SP7. He is not SP8. He is a social 7. Another great example is, of course, from Arcane. We have Jace. Jace is a great example
Yeah, he's
of
a
an
great.
LIE Social 7. And we're actually going to be talking about Arcane on Sunday when we stream again, a little promotion. And we're going to spend the first 30 minutes to an hour talking all about Arcane from an Enneagram lens. So make sure to tune in on that Sunday as well. And if you can't tune in, there's going to be a recording of this stream. So we definitely want your
Yeah.
thoughts on that. So I think I did Social 7, Social 2 is done,
Social 1.
Social 8. Social 1. Oh my god, this is
That's
a good
hard.
one.
That's hard. Tywin maybe, but Tywin. I'm not sure if Tywin's so good.
You know what? That's a good one.
Yeah.
For Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah. Game of
Social
Thrones,
one. That's the great one. That's a that no no you totally reminded me of it. I totally forgot. Game of Thrones has
Yeah.
such great examples. For example, Tyrion being an SP7.
Yeah.
And then Tywin
Yeah.
being a social one. That is a very great E7 E1 dynamic right there. Yes, Tywin Lannister, social one, the blueprint archetype, great example. Oh yeah, Tony Stark, LIE Social 7 as well. Great Shibo. That's a great example of a
Great
social
examples,
7
guys.
as well.
Great. All of them are great examples. Although Laffy, I feel like Javi Kami made a good argument that he is a sexual aid, and I feel like the social aid gets overtyped sometimes because you see a guy like Laffy, and instantly a social aid because he's a pirate and he has other people with him.
He's nice.
And he's a nicer guy, So they're quick to be like social aid. Sometimes I see a character type social aid. I'm not even sure how the fuck he has the neurotic need of a social aid. So it's a bit confusing, But there was a question I wanted to see. What's your opinion on Risa, Hudson, Enneagram, and other triads like Hornevian and harmonic triads? Risa Hudson is objectively, and I don't even want to say like it's my opinion because from everything I've heard, Rizzo Hudson literally tried to take notes from Enneagram, from Naranjo. He tried to take notes from Naranjo, which he didn't have as much. He had basic notes from Naranjo, and then he used them to get the fucking little Rizzo Hudson bullshit. Right? But it lacks nuance, and it's very obvious it lacks any fucking nuance. So Rizzo Hudson is objectively trash when it comes to Enneagram. The worst fucking, it's garbage. You see how most people don't know what they're talking about in Enneagram? Yes, you can thank Rizzo Hudson. Oh, you don't like being controlled? You are a big daddy Sigma male? You are Enneagram 8. You are sad and depressed, and you like music? You are Enneagram 4. You are a party goer who loves to have fun, live in the moment? You're a 7 core. Easy peasy, lemonade fucking squeezy. Fuck Rizzo Hudson. You know what, Rusted Nation? We are waging war on... Okay, we're not waging any wars. Okay, Rust? There's no war. Rizzo Hudson is just an innocent man in his basement. He's chill.
There's actually 2 of them.
Now they have to go. No,
they're actually a duo.
Yeah, yeah. But that's my opinion on that.
I'm gonna give my opinion because what fun would a podcast be if both of us just agreed on every fucking thing, So I'm gonna give my counter perspective. It's not gonna be too different necessarily from yours either.
Yep.
I think that the duo of Rizzo Hudson is very similar to Beatrice Chestnut. Is that they take Enneagram and they kind of make it corporate, they make it palatable, and not necessarily in an accurate way, but just a way that it would make sense in like a corporate sphere that they can give like tradings out, to people. It's a lot more whitewashed, I would say, and I think Rizzo Hudson definitely struggled in some characterizations, in particular with E4 and E7. It was low-key a disgrace. I will say that to answer your part, I like the triads. There's a lot of triads I actually do like, and I think that I still use them too. A lot of people do. A lot of people who are, against Rizzo Hudson actually use many triads from that school of thought. And I think that's the point of this all. I don't think, Rizzo Hudson got a lot of things correct, but there's some things we can take from them, utilize it, and increase our understanding because they are good. Simply demonizing one group as bad and one group as good is exactly how we get groupthink, and we lose a lot of great information. So I think
Yeah,
that I
okay.
still
Yeah.
love
Yes, we
Ikazo first,
understand.
then Murano, but I
Yes,
still
yes, yes. You can gain any knowledge from every person. I get that. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
And like I said, we can't always agree on everything, or then they're gonna think, well,
I know.
we're like here like in a no, we're here to have a conversation.
Of
I think that's
course, man,
important.
bro. I
Everything
don't
here,
give a fuck if you agree with me or you don't. To be honest, like you need to have your own thoughts. Like
exactly.
I'm not worried about that. Let's see. What is the path to growth out of neurosis to you guys? Channeling a differently solution, replacing the behavior. I would say, I feel like the true growth to anything is understanding your behavioral patterns. If you cannot grow unless you understand the root issue, right? What are the behaviors I engage in? Which is why an Enneagram is perfect for that. It literally outlines to you what the fuck you suck at, and then you read it and you're like, oh my god, I really relate to it. Well, why the fuck are you not stopping, right? The question is, it's hard to stop something. It's like asking you to stop breathing. That's very difficult. So I feel like the best way you can do, change the environment. If you are in an environment that is gonna provoke your neurotic need to become more severe, that means that environment does not bring out the best version of you. Maybe the people are not good people. Maybe you need to surround yourself with more positive people to have a better impact on your neurosis. If I go in a certain environment, I bet you 100% that my neurotic need is gonna spike the fuck up, and I'm gonna be thinking in that way of a neurotic social. Like I'm gonna have that mindset, the 8-core fucking social 8 mindset, which is gonna be negative, right? It's gonna be more destructive, only because I'm in that environment where maybe, like even typology. Like I am in this community. This is my community. I am engaging with people of different communities. They don't like my community. They think we suck. And I'm interacting with those people. So in my mind, I'm like, fuck, dude, they think my community sucks. They're trying to talk shit about my community, and they're doing that shit, So of course, fuck them, I'm gonna be disrespectful. I'm gonna be antagonistic. I'm gonna be, harsh with them because they fucking deserve it. And look how this is bad. So by removing myself, I should detach myself, remove myself from that situation. I now avoided having that really bad side of me come out, right? The categorical side. So that's what you do. Eliminate those issues, the potential problems, by removing yourself from those environments and those situations that will trigger that in you. So that's what you do, and understand that growth is a constant. It's like creating a new habit. It's if I tell you, oh, Spacey, if you need to do this, and you're gonna say, well, I can't because I'll fail. You will fail, and you'll fail 100 times. You'll fail 400 times. But every single time you fail, there's gonna be a bit less of that resistance. Every single time, there's gonna be some kind of thing that you do differently, and it's gonna become easier and easier every single time you do that, right? Up until you create new ways of coping with it, new ways of handling those situations. So that's kind of how growth works. That's why you don't grow in 6 months. You grow over like 2 years, 3 years. That's what it takes to truly grow. It's a slow process, but it's a constant battle. Making the right decision is very hard. And I personally, I know Ring, it's every day is a struggle. Every day is, can I make the right decision? But it becomes easier to take the right decision, with time.
It's so interesting. Your neurotic fixation, and I can speak from experience because my friend here, Russ, caught me in the middle of being in a neurotic trance of sorts.
Literally, it's like it's so crazy from your perspective, because you're like, what? I don't see. I'm just being me. That's how I felt. So that's how I reacted, and it's like, exactly.
It can be so self-defeating, because when you're indulging in your neurotic fixation, it almost feels like you're doing. For me, it feels like you're doing the right thing. Like you're finally standing up to like
It's
what you
right. It
believe in.
feels good. It's justified. It's righteous. It feels good.
Yeah.
It's natural. You're good at it. It makes sense. And that's the problem. How do you stop something that makes perfect sense? That's why growth is the hardest thing you can ever fucking do in your entire life. Because it's literally looking at something, liking it, being great at it, it being natural to you, and then saying, fuck that, I need to go the opposite way. How
Yep.
hard that is. It's
And
incredibly hard.
for social eights and social sevens, I think Russ said it extremely well to me in my DMs the other day. I think for people like us, growth is not involving yourself in like worldly matters and making, your
Exactly.
presence known on a social
Exactly.
community level.
Distance yourself from the social, right?
Just chilling.
Just chill. And
Yeah, it's
like,
tough.
yeah, yeah. And for me, it's like, okay, I know, and the deeper I communicate with the community at large, the worse it is. If I know I go on PDB and I see that, and I'll be in an environment that in a sense represents everything that I stand for. They are against people I know, my friends and shit. That's not gonna make me act open to them. That's not gonna make me act good, so I do the opposite. I just be like, okay, well, that's just not what I engage in, and I remove myself from that, or from any other trigger that can make me think us versus them. Okay, ideological, anything that makes me think, oh, they cannot do this shit to us. They cannot fucking do this shit to us, because then you're justifying certain behaviors towards them, and you want to dominate them, you want to overpower them in some type of way, and it's just not good for anyone. Ring plus spirit and her newbie about Enneagram wings helpful. Oh, okay. Wait, give me a second. This one, can you answer this one? Ring.
Let's see it. Ring plus Russ, please inform an ignorant newbie about Enneagram wings. Helpful, BS. I find sometimes more helpful, so IDK what to do with the wings. Yes. So here it is. Subtypes are going to they will trump wings. I don't think there's too much insight in my experience that you can derive from wings. And for those who are known, Riso Hudson haters, wings are more Riso Hudson concept, so it makes sense. I think subtypes are just a lot more fleshed out, give you a lot more information.
Can you guys
it
hear
makes
us?
a little bit more sense.
Do you see this? What I have? I'm testing something. Do you see this?
Oh, be right
Do you
back.
see?
That's so cool.
Okay, listen. I just go piss and you just talk. Okay, like you just keep doing the thing.
I got this. All right. So what I find is that your subtype is going to give you a lot more information. I even think that if you just find your instinctual variant by itself, it is more useful than figuring out what wing you are on an established core. You need to focus on subtype. Now, once you found your subtype, once you established your IV, you established your Enneagram core, you're very certain about what fixations you have, what's your passion, There's nothing that stops you from additionally looking into wings. And if it speaks to you, this is something that works for you, please go ahead. For example, I type as a social 7. I would easily say that I am 7 wing 6 over 7 wing 8. And I really relate to that. However, I wouldn't type myself based off of being like, oh, a 7 wing 6 or 7 wing 8. I think it's something you can do kind of in like the Enneagram endgame, where you already established everything that was really crucial and you want to extract just a little bit more insight out of that like analysis. So then wings are kind of cool, but they're not crucial, not even slightest. I would definitely say do not use wings to be able to type yourself. Like I see this happen all the time, where it's like, oh, I think let's say for example, I think I'm a 3, but I can come off like a 2 sometimes, but it's fine because I'm a 3 wing 2, And that kind of leads to a lot of confusion, where it's like, oh, so 3 wing 2 is somehow this 3 with a 2 subtype. It gets weird. I don't think it should be used to type. And just to add a little bit more to that, right? For in favor of it, in favor of the wings, there is a connection, and even in Naranjo's side of Enneagram, where the 3 has a connection to 2 and 4, for example. The 4 has a connection to 3 and 5, and you can see this kind of connection even in Ichazo's original Enneagram, the classic Enneagram, where there's a connection point between the neighboring Enneagram points in Ichazo, and then of course the Enneatypes in modern Naranjo Enneagram. So your mileage may vary, but please do not focus on it. I think that's the best way to answer that question. Let's see the chat.
What's up? I am
Oh, you're
back.
Cool. Yes, just got finished explaining
Really?
the wings question. Hmm?
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
I'm
And then,
back.
when you get into it, I think one thing that like could be interesting is
Nearly
exploring
pissed
further.
myself. Oh my god. Whew.
It is exploring integration and disintegration. I have not looked into that for a very long time. I need to brush myself up on it and see how relevant it actually is. But that's stuff like that was a lot more common in like Riso Hudson Enneagram. I want to see if it has any merit. So I'm going to be doing some self-research on that as well. Yo, Theo is asking, where's the hat? This was the hat stream.
I need to breathe. No, I need to breathe. Like dude, I'm cooked. Like I feel cooked. Reza was actually asking for something. He was asking for the SP8 Neurosis. How would that manifest, other than wanting shit for yourself and kicking ass to get it?
And it's tough, right? Like we're hoping Naruto's team gives us that direct answer in the next couple of months. E8
So,
book is coming
You don't
out.
know?
Sorry, what?
So you don't know the answer?
I would say that I could give the answer, but it would just be a synthesis.
No. Well, then do
Right.
it. Then synthesize.
Yeah.
You are a fucking Chadwick. You are the Chad of the Chad is Chadwick. The Chad is Chadwick of the Chads.
The chattiest Chadwick.
You're the Chaddiest Chadwick. It should be easy, man. Come on. We got this.
Yeah. I got this. I want to let the viewers know, right? This would be a synthesis, right? But this is exactly the way Naruto's team has historically answered this question, because this is how they derive the subtypes. They look at the passions and fixations of the E8, and they see how that passion distorts the instinctual variant that it occupies. So in this case, the E8 distorts self-preservation, aka conservation instinct. And I can see this being a way of ensuring one's stimulation, intensity, pleasure, lust of life, being able to adopt methodologies of practical, pragmatic actions, having certain resources, learning certain skills, doing efficient actions, doing anything possible to ensure your survival, especially in terms of being able to ensure that your personal stimulation, your personal pleasure, and even the justice. I think justice is underrated in SP8, but we have a great example of a justice-driven SP8. We have the Punisher. Judge, jury, and executioner. The Punisher. Yeah. And you can see that as well as someone who wants to ensure their way of life, who is a rebel, an anti-intellectual. And as we have described, the anti-intellectual does not mean they're fucking stupid. It means that they don't believe in organized authorities telling them how they should be, how they should act, they should dislike and like. And I think the SP8 is someone who is grounded, who is able to manipulate their interactions with others in a similar way to the SP7, but a lot more direct with it. They're kind of charlatanistic, and they'll do anything possible to ensure their survival, and their survival is coded with the idea of not being deprived, to not feel emptiness, to feel the stimulation of life, and to be able to enact what they feel is right and wrong. So that's the way I would synthesize it, is a person who focuses on that practical parts of life and use those strategies to get what they want.
Perfect. You're very good at synthesizing information. I mean, you already know this, but yeah.
Thank you.
Let me see. So I don't, Yami, can you answer my question, please? I don't know what your question was. I was scrolling, I couldn't see it even. But that's that. What sides of Enneagram would you say are more accurate? I've heard the names Naranjo and a few others, but I've never read them. Did we answer this question already or no?
No, we didn't answer this question.
What sides of Enneagram would you say are more accurate? Whoa.
I would say for most people, modern Enneagram, especially Naranjo-based Enneagram, is where you want to be at. My favorite Enneagram is the original Enneagram that all of the modern Enneagrams have been derived from, which is Ichazo's Enneagram. I would focus on those two places. And that's where I would really... I would start off in modern, but then once you have a grasp on it, I would go into Ichazo. But if you have a more like evolutionary perspective, like you want to see like how Enneagram has evolved over time, start off with Ichazo, learn classic Enneagram, and then move into modern, and you'll see how the
Basically
understanding
learn all
of these
them,
types
bro.
change.
Just learn all of them, man.
Learn everything
Yeah,
and
yeah.
become discerning yourself. You know, that's the best thing we can tell you.
Yeah, it really is. Which Enneagram do you think is the most toxic? Like the most damaging neurotic fixation to others, and I had this conversation many times because I was arguing with my friends that there are clearly types that are more damaging to others because their neurotic need involves butchering people. So it's more harmful to others, you know, compare. Like I remember using an example of Enneagram 8 and Enneagram 9. Like to me personally, when I looked at it, I'm like, do you think lust is more hurtful to people or sloth? Like, I mean, if we look at the damage, I think to me at least it seems makes sense that it is lust. And I don't view it I'm not saying, oh, that means Enneagram 8 is less, like, more toxic. I'm not saying this. They are all shit and they're all toxic, but they're toxic in different ways, and some are more toxic to others and some are more toxic to themselves. That's how I view it, at least, you know. Like an SP8 who's a fucking criminal degenerate who's in prison because he's skull fucked multiple people is really not the same as a guy who's a serial helper and he has to help them because he hates himself. I don't think it's the same, you know. That's my take.
And I think you make some really solid points, you know, that the worst of the worst, you know, is clearly shown in the Enneatypes, and certain Enneatypes are more...
When you read them, you're like, would I want to be around this person? If they're really... I mean, of course, you wouldn't want to be around any of those people unhealthy, but I'd rather be around a sexual 9 who's unhealthy than a sexual fucking 8. Because at least in one of those scenarios, I would live. In another, I'm gonna get decapitated. You know?
But it's also important to share the perspective that even though Enneagram tries to be prescriptive, at the end of the day, it's not. And from a utilitarian perspective, yeah, you can say certain types, you know, lead to a net bad or a net good. You know, that's why social 8 becomes a net good type and a sexual 8 becomes a net bad type a lot of times, you know?
Fuck me.
But the reality is it's non-prescriptive. And you can't completely anticipate someone's behavior based off of Enneagram. So in theory, you can say, yes, the person who's a serial nice person is going to be less utilitarianly harmful than a serial aggressive person. But at the end of the day, you can't predict behavior using Enneagram or any typology. But that's a good place to wrap up that one, huh?
Sexual 6 is generally much more aggressive and will more likely express. Oh, wait. That's not what I wanted. How do aggression manifest in sexual 6 and social 6? How different are those two types? What do you think?
Hey, oh my god, I can't even pronounce your Genshin Impact name. Pulcinella. I can't even say it, right? Pulcinella or something. I don't even know. Okay. Not Italian. Great question. You're lucky. I just reread Cowardice, you know, the other day, and you're gonna find that a large reason for the passivity of the social six is this great desire to belong and conform to the standards of the community or the society they want to belong to. So there is a desire to be a decent, standardized person. This is very similar actually to the SP3 and the SP1, especially the SP3, funny enough, whose neurotic fixation is inclusion. Most people don't know that they do all these great helpful things because they want to feel included to a group in which they feel safe in. The social six has a very similar neurosis where they want to adapt to the rules and standards of a community because they want to be included as well. However, the sexual six's neurosis is this kind of like it's this individual who is kind of self-defeating. Similar in a way to the sexual four, where they feel like they're lacking something. They don't feel like they're able to withstand certain stimuli. For example, of course, the biggest one is fear. They feel like they're vulnerable, that fear can overtake them, and they hate that idea. So they push against it, and they display intense actions of being someone who is able to conquer fear, and not only conquer fear, invulnerable to it. That's the word that they like to use for sexual six is invulnerability. I would keep that. If you want to understand a sexual six, especially if you want to compare it to like any E8, is that sexual sixes crave invulnerability against fear. And because of this, they are naturally more deviant from social standards, and because of that, more aggressive. They're not trying to conform, but they do seek it. Sexual sixes, in the end, are still kind of seeking authority, as same as every E6, because they're still an E6 the other day.
Exactly.
But they can be a little bit more turbulent about it, and that's what it is. That's why
That's what makes them so
aggression
fucking neurotic spergy.
Yeah.
Because there's this duality, man. Yeah. But guys, socionics questions, they might not be answered because this we are doing the Enneagram focus.
We love
here.
Enneagram here. We're biased. We love Enneagram.
We're
They're fun
biased.
questions to ask.
We're biased. Yeah. More. I find the Enneagram questions more entertaining to answer. Deepest shade of asked, do you guys still doing video call typings? I would love to gain both of you. Well, I am with Javier, but I mean, Ray never has done any video call typings. But it's cool that you think he did. That's based. That's the power of the social 7. That's the but we do typings, and I mean, if you really love him that much, we can arrange it. Maybe that doesn't mean but yeah. But the point is, yes, you can get a fucking typing, yes. And if you want to learn Socionics, that is, you should go to Augusta Projects with the website, or you should also Google Classic Socionics, and you're gonna see those two websites. Those two websites are all you need to really learn Socionics, in my opinion. So that's kind of where we are at. Just for the video typings, you answer the questions live, right? I don't know what you mean. I mean, I'm guessing a video typing is, you talk to the person and basically ask them questions and then figure out their type. Of course, it's live, so everything happens, real time, and you just have a discussion and then you figure out the type. The last person I tapped was actually a social 6 LII, so that's pretty cool.
Base typing.
They actually considered Enneagram 1, which was really funny to me. I'm like, no, but I understand why. I understand why, but no, Okay, let me see.
Social 6 and
I want to
E1
answer them
very
beforehand. I want to answer. What does June mean by this? June, you need to explain to me, what do you mean by this?
Oh, are they asking that they want to have all the questions before the video typing and then have like prepared responses?
Oh, okay. Listen, June, if you want me to be honest with you, if this is what you want, I don't think you should get a video call, I think what we can do is do a normal questionnaire, but I forgot what was the price. It was $15, maybe $15 for it's a video questionnaire. I give you a questionnaire and you look at the camera and you just answer the questions. So maybe that might be better for you, because I'm not sure if it's worth you getting on a fucking camera and having pre-made questions that you answer. You know, I feel like a video questionnaire where you just answer shit might be easier. But you can find that on my coffee. I don't know if we have the link for that shit. But there's a video typing option where send a video answering a given. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if that's the thing you want to do, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Because I feel I removed that option by I added it. I not edited. I added it. Fucking, can you fucking imagine being Polish and fucking talking in English? I added it, right, to the questionnaire, normal questionnaire, right? So I feel like let me check. I think it was $15, so $5 more for me to kind of to analyze things, to set for the video questionnaire. You know, let me see. Video. Yeah. You would need to. Yeah, commissions. And I'm gonna send you just do it. I'm gonna send you the questionnaire. You're gonna probably be able to access it already when you pay for the commission, and then you just make a video and you send it, and then I sit and fucking circle jerk it. You know, fucking with ring. I'll circle jerk it with ring. If that's what you want, then okay, you know, fuck it. Thank you, Veronica. I appreciate this. I really needed this, to be honest, because I was fucking getting lost.
Mandatory shoutouts to the mod team. If you see a mod member in the chat right now, thank them. They make this stream happen.
Why is no one clapping?
Yeah.
So who dies? No. Let's see. How would you if y'all bridge the gap between the hindrances of a F5 polar? Oh no, no, not this question. I'm dying.
Wait the question to appear on the screen. Oh, cool.
I mean,
cool.
I honestly don't know how to answer this. That's my reaction right now. Look at my face.
I see it.
I don't know. Do you know?
I don't think you need to have like strong FI to be charismatic. I think that SLEs and ILEs are people that are also charismatic in their own way. They can be loud and upbeat sometimes. They have vital FE, so they're not controlling it, but they're charismatic in their own ways. Yeah. I know that IEEs and even LIEs are considered to be more charismatic, where like
but ILEs it's like an SLE, right? SLE can be charismatic, ILE can be charismatic. Yeah. I feel like the term charismatic and charming,
charming
they're kind of useless. They're kind of useless in a sense.
It's such a low end like thing that almost any type can become charming. I've seen really like shut-in E5s be charming in their own nerdy geeky way. You know, like it's charming is such a low hanging fruit in terms of expressing someone's social prowess. You know, I think every type can be charming, especially if you are an extroverted type. You have even more of a chance to be charming, even if you are kind of nerdy, awkward, or say dumb shit at times. Enough for at least enough to spend the SP7 as well.
Why are you into typology? I mean, personally, for me, I had an interest in psychology, human behavior, human motivation. So I was very interested in that, and pathology and stuff, and that kind of just connects with typology. You know, I mean, look at Naranjo and what he did. He does the overlap. So for me, I was like, oh wow, this is so interesting. And then realizing how those pathologies can fucking link to different types. To me, I just always enjoyed learning about myself through a system, through a something scientific in a sense, you know, to understand myself in a better way. That's not just like introspect emotionally. It's difficult, but when I have a system or something, I can break it down. I can understand it and apply it in a sense, you know. I sound like an SLE. I should type myself as an SLE. Dang, I'm like base.
Yeah. You know what? Social 8 SLE. We're bringing it back.
We're bringing it back, and I'm the example. Fuck yo,
Archetype.
that's not gonna happen. I'll be my fucking dead body.
Yo,
But
clip him. Clip him.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Clip him before he's gonna say he never said SO8 cannot exist. Oh, clown. Don't worry.
Don't let him explain.
Guys,
don't
listen.
give him a chance for nuance.
Listen, if social 8 SLE is a thing, when I read the book, I'm gonna be the first one to tell you. Okay? Don't worry. I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna be like, I was wrong. I don't mind. I'm gonna say it. Okay. I have this question. Is it necessarily an extreme or boisterous type? Sexual 4. I would say it is not it doesn't have to be a boisterous or extreme. I feel like extreme, they're intense. This is a very intense type, but boisterous and shit, it doesn't have to be that. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I have a very close relationship with a sexual 4 who I actually thought for a very long time was an SP4 because they didn't fit this crazy, the way the community describes school shooter archetype of person who is this like, Joker archetype who's just trying to hurt everyone. The reality is a lot of the sexual 4, and also for those interested in sexual 4, I just released a confession on sexual 4. I worked with an anonymous community member. It's on my link tree, right? You can check out. It's a sexual 4 confession. It breaks down some of the traumatic things that they dealt with and how that sexual 4 manifests for them, right? But just to answer your question, a lot of what the sexual 4 deals with is internalized, especially once they grow out of childhood, teenage years, and even early adult years. A lot of it becomes this internal hatred that's very much a scarred worldview, but externalized, it could be someone who actually can come across like they just, are maybe passionate, maybe artistic, even responsibility. It's very interesting because a lot of what the sexual 4 feels is internalized, and they don't always share that with others. If you're close to a sexual 4, they might share it, they might let you into their, darker tendencies, right? But it's not like an E8, where a lot of times an E8 will, especially a sexual E8, will be more in your face. A sexual 4, at the end of the day, is not a pseudo 8. It is an E4, and E4s are more internalized. So, great question. I don't believe so. I think they can be extreme and boisterous, but they generally gravitate towards also being very withdrawn.
Yeah, they can. I mean, dude, let's not turn them into something they're not. They can have their moments, and because of their emotional intensity, they can seem like an 8, and they're also they can be very non-conforming and rebellious. I understand, but 8 is 8, 4 is a 4 at the end of the day,
Yeah.
Once you get into typology, you cannot get back. Yeah. It's always at the back of your mind. It's true, but I kind of try to see it in a positive light, because when I interact with people in person, I don't really think about their types. When I'm like, oh, what's their type? I'm busy interacting with people. So it's not like in real life, you go around and be like, there must be this type. But maybe you have time to think about it and like, oh, wonder what their type was. And then you understand their type. And I feel like when you know typology, you know a secret that no one else knows. It's a beautiful thing, because you know something no one else in the room knows. Power, right? Because think about it. You have the ability to know someone's personality even before they'll tell you shit about themselves. You know their strengths and you know their weaknesses. You know their fears. You know what got them traumatized, and you know what they're sensitive about. Imagine, you're this person with all this knowledge and this understanding. Like it's insane the way you're able to look at people and understand them in a way that no one else in the room can. I feel like that's a superpower in a sense, and people we forget that because we're just like, oh, so you just go in real life and you just geek over typology and just like, oh, what this person's typing. No, but if used correctly, it's a fucking super weapon. It's just most people are clueless. They don't understand how to use this. You literally understand human psyche like you understand your fucking left toe. Like, bro, if you think that's not a superpower, I don't know what is,
That you explained it quite well, and I like the way you see it as an additional ability, a capability that we now have. I wanted to just add that one of the biggest benefits that typology gives every single one of the typologies, especially if you share it in the community, is to have a shared language to explain aspects of people's self and how they relate to others. I will easily say that in day-to-day language, we lack a lot of these expressions, words that could convey that. Typology, even if you don't believe in the scientific background of it, which there is very dubious scientific background, let's be real, it gives you a language in which you're able to express yours and others' personality, and that conversation becomes easier to have. And that's beautiful. And I think that what you just described here is a natural consequence of getting into typology and having that language.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Mystic Eclipse. How would you describe Enneagram 5's conscientiousness? I mean, I wouldn't particularly say that they're the most conscientious, you know. I mean, maybe moderate conscientiousness overall for the Enneagram 5. There's nothing about them that makes them look very conscientious, but there's also nothing about them that makes them seem not conscientious. It kind of seems like they're more in the middle. What you think, Ring?
You know, this is Big Five has always been the one that I'm just like every time I tried getting into it, I get
Boring?
so snooze fest about it, and I never learn it. So you're gonna have to handle the Big Five questions.
Okay.
I know some of them like agreeableness and egocentric and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
But like other than that, I'm like, yeah, maybe you are organized. Who knows? Maybe you are not organized.
Right. For me, I would say that they're generally probably moderate, you know. I wouldn't expect high. It's possible the social 5 it is, but not someone you'd look at be like, wow, this guy's he's known for being highly conscientious. That's more of the 1 or a 3 category, you know. Uh, Let me see. I don't want to. Okay. So the most important question, Taboji, now, how has it changed you and your relationships? I would say for me, my
Ooh.
relationships, it made me realize that I feel like it gave me awareness to my actions, which I didn't really much have as much. I used to just think I was very my way or the highway type of a person where, you know, I just thought I knew I had answers and I knew the truth. And the truth is more like not just truth about one thing, but the truth about the essence of anything that I was doing, and I knew the truth, so I'm gonna fucking push it, you know. I'm gonna push for it, and I would kind of justify things. I would believe I am correct, and all those fucking pricks aren't, and I wouldn't take responsibility for that shit because I wouldn't see it. But also a big thing that's different is me seeing other people and understanding, hey, it gave me compassion to people. It's crazy. It sounds insane, but it gave me compassion for people in a way that I didn't really have in the past, in that specific way, which is like I understand other people aren't like me, and I'm not like other people. I cannot expect them to be a certain way. I cannot expect them to endure certain things. I cannot expect them to have certain reactions. Even they are different. They have different strengths. You know. So the way they are is different from the way I am. And it's not bad, it's not good, it just is. And typology helped me realize that you cannot put expectations on others to you know, think they're a fucking weak cunt because they struggle with something you do to you was nothing. So you thought, wow, this person's weak. But they're not weak. Their strengths are different, but it doesn't define weakness. So I think for me that was a huge thing. Not everyone is like you. You're not like everyone. Don't expect them to fucking do shit, okay? Because they have their own strengths and weaknesses. That's me.
Well said.
What about you?
All right, I'm supposed to answer this question too.
Yeah, why not? Of course.
I was zoning the fuck out. I was just like, yeah, that is a great way to look at it. Because I was like, anyway,
Yeah.
let me talk about how it's changed the way
Yeah.
honestly, typology has really made me more patient with people.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not just I am not a fan of this person. I'm gonna stay away from this person. Why are they annoying me? People are so fucking stupid, you know? It becomes, oh, this person might be more neurotically fixated to this. This person might be compensating for this because of this. Like I always felt like something that was difficult for me was understanding other people and why they do what they do. You know, because a lot of times I would say something to them, so one person, and they would react very favorably, but then I would say something, it's the same thing to someone else, and they would like be aggressive or worse. They would close the relationship, and I was like, "Why is this happening? I have no idea what the hell is going on. It feels like a black box of some intention going on that I didn't understand." And typology really helped me start putting words to those problems and challenges, and then even give me ideas on how to bridge some of those gaps. I have relationships with people that I can clearly see are very neurotic, and if I didn't have typology, I would have thought they're just bad people. You know, I should just stay away from them. But I realized, you know, they're struggling with something the same way I'm struggling with something. It's made me more patient in that way, and I become more accepting of the flaws of others.
That's true. Yeah. Accepting of flaws of others. Less
Hmm.
critical about that. That makes sense. Let me see.
June has great questions. June should get like a known question
Right. Right.
asker
No.
title.
Question maker.
June,
Question
we
asker.
have not paid June. No one gets paid here.
Yeah,
June,
by the
June
way,
is
yeah, this is not setup. It's not one of those fucking we're stand-up comedians and we pay one of the people to be like, oh, I'm gonna ask those specific questions to make you guys look smart. Let's go deeper. Can you explain the emotional numbness of the sexual nine beyond the maid stereotype? I just kind of feel like the sexual nine, like all the nines, they just numb themselves by routine. I just don't think it's that different, and I feel like they might morph and go with the desires of other people more, becoming the way the other person wants them to become. Oh, they like red hair. I should dye my hair to red. I should do this. I should do that just to be good, just to be, and they lose themselves. That's how I would view the numbing of the sexual nine. It's like complete robot. There is the soul left their fucking body, but of course they're still indulging the physicality and stuff, but more morphing with the needs of other people, right? And almost like you abandon yourself. It's like you don't exist. You live through others. At least that's kind of, yeah.
Yeah, and I think you explained that extremely well. It's the word you want to look for is that self erasure. It's even deeper than just emotional numbness. It's this idea of being able to live on autopilot almost.
Yeah,
I think
it's
social nine
crazy.
is the least apparent when it comes to this, but the sexual and the SP are very much these people that want to entrance themselves. In particular, mixed with the sexual instinct of the sexual nine, it is a merging in a very traditional sense, where they're losing themselves. In other SX subtypes, you're gonna see like with the sexual one and even the sexual five, there's an invasion, a possessiveness, and of course, when we talk about possessiveness, we got to talk about the sexual eight too. But for the sexual nine, it is a true merging and a self erasure, which is very interesting. Hey, Russ, I'm gonna be back. Chat, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna also go to the bathroom, so
Okay,
I'll
okay.
BRB.
Bathroom break for Mr. Ring. I'm gonna be here answering the questions now. Now, because he's not here, guys, we can start our world domination. The seven core isn't here to pollute the chat with second logic and try to be balanced and how take. No, we know what to do. Fuck that. There's only one way. Our way. Rusted Nation. Stand the fuck up. Let's fucking do it. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Do you know there are gaps in knowledge in between? Wait. Cool. Rust. Coolest Enneagram subtypes from your subjective point of view. Bro, it's hard, I don't want to be that guy because I always say sevens are glazed, but I find social 7 very interesting. I find SP7 very interesting. I find SP8 very interesting. I find social 5 very interesting. Like genuinely, like social 5 is such a fucking interesting type, I find a sexual 1 very interesting. So those would be some types that I find pretty cool, you know. I don't want to be like social 2, because fuck them. You know, they glaze themselves. You didn't hear that. I did trash social 7, by the way. I did say that fuck them, they ain't fucking cool. No,
overrated.
But, I'm kidding. But we did plot world domination when you were not around, by the way, and we did say but you know, fuck it.
As usual, huh?
Sorry, man. When you're not here, shit happens. Do you think there's gaps in knowledge in typology, even in strong systems? Gaps in knowledge. There's always going to be gaps. Because I'll tell you this, right? People think there's going to be a new system that will come out and it's going to fucking tell us something we didn't know. I'll tell you this. And this applies in everything in psychology. There are different categorical systems in psychology that goes beyond typology, such as the Miller, I forgot the name, but the Milton personality categorization. And there's some others. And the fact is, all of those things kind of are based on the same principle. And they kind of look at the same things. Right? So there's a huge overlap, which is why correlations exist even in psychology they exist, right? Which is funny. People correlations fucking don't exist. Well, you are a bit of a fucking monkey then, because correlations literally been introduced in human behavior and human psychology. So good job. Good job for leaving the brain left the chat. Good fucking job, monkey. Anyway, monkey calling others monkeys. Fucked up. What the world has come to. But there will be those gaps, you know, because the fact is all of this is the same. Oh, you have PY? I mean, it's in a sense kind of says the same shit that the fucking Enneagram does. It just does it in a simpler way, okay? It's like Socionics does the same shit that MBTI does, okay? And another, temporitics, some fucking name, right? This is the system temporitics. It's the same shit. It's just PY. It's just about time, but same works like PY. So there will always be those gaps, because at the end of the day, those systems are very kind of the same, kind of similar, you know? And they are trying to look for the same essence at the end of the day, which makes them very repetitive, and that makes them correlate to one another. And also because the fact is, when it comes to psychology, there are just limitations with what you can discover, you know? What you can define and understand. There's limitations. So that's kind of my own take on that.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, just like at a fundamental level, the vastness of personality, the self, the being alive, there is no system that we can truly invent that's going to encapsulate that entire experience. And maybe that's okay, you know? We don't need all the answers. I think life will give us answers that work for us individually.
Yeah.
And that's the way I feel about it.
Why do you hate Enneagram 5?
Why you...
Okay, so I'm going to do something. I will do something.
Okay.
But don't take it literally. Imagine if this was clown makeup. That's it. I never fucking said I hate 5 course, okay? I'm not sure where this came from. That's all. That's all, okay? Could you make a video on correlations across more than 2 systems? Oh man, bro, you hit me. Across more than 2 systems. Socionics, Enneatype, PY, all in one. The ultimate combinations. Socionics, PY, Big 5, Enneagram, subtype, instinctual variant, height, weight, shoe size, dick size, tit size, butt size,
hair color,
69 gender, non-binary, flying helicopter, pink hair, purple hair.
Are you sure your favorite color is purple? You are an E1. Isn't that a little weird?
I like it. My question still stands, is June, the question asker. What does a non-hyper intelligent 5 look like? Bro, honestly, just someone, like, oh, you see that? Just someone who probably is on the spectrum and is really not that smart. That's all, bro. Like, it's that simple. Introverted as fuck, basement dwelling, detached, autistic, not smart. I mean, that's it. You know, it's really that's it. That's it. And I've seen people like that. Like, I ask, yo, so is he like good at chess? No. Was he like good at math? No. Was he like good at any subject? No. He actually sucked at every subject. Oh, was he good at? Well, he's not really smart in anything. Oh. Okay. That's it. You could now I love you, man. Yeah, I love that's great. You could record you playing a game such as Danganronpa and type the characters in real time. I definitely was thinking of playing this game called Danganronpa just for you. Just because you wanted me to do it, I will do it. And I'm gonna love this game. I'm gonna be socialite. I'm gonna involve all of my mates. Guys, this guy on stream told me that maybe I could play this one game called Danganronpa, and then we can all type those characters. We should do that, guys. Complicity, brotherhood, loyalty, unity. Ring is just quiet. Ring is fucking silence. Silence. Ring, why are you so quiet?
Oh, my bad. You know what? I was just thinking, we even talked about it in the last stream about, streaming like fucking Marvel Rivals or something and then typing like the characters while playing the game. But,
there's no way I'm gonna be able to play the fucking game
yeah.
and also be like, oh, guys, he's actually a fucking social aid. Like, dude, I'm trying to fucking survive. I'm trying to fucking decapitate them. And my team's slacking off. I'm not gonna have time to fucking guys actually do stuff. No.
It's a tough act.
It is.
And it's just getting gaming involved in a channel. Like, you particularly like Danganronpa. I think it's a good game. I've watched clips of it.
What is that game anyway?
It's like this. It's like a best way to describe it. It's like a series of different games. It's like a JRPG, so it's a Japanese.
Oh my god!
game.
Did he actually ask me to play a fucking JRPG? Oh my god, bro! Oh my! Do you see? You're trying to piss me off. But do you see what you're doing? Okay. I will expose your selfishness. Okay? You don't give a fuck about me. Okay? You don't. You see a streamer. You don't give a fuck about him. This streamer does not give a single fuck about JRPGs. Look at me. Do I look like a guy who plays JRPGs? Or a guy who watches hentai? No. So it's easy to assume I probably wouldn't like that. But you want me to play it. You sneaky fuck. Guys, decapitate them. On sight. No, I'm kidding. But dude, I'm playing a bit, But bro, listen. People cannot do what you want them to do. That's not how this shit. And some people will not take it very kindly for you to make requests. Because they'll be like, who the fuck is this guy to tell me what the fuck he wants me to play? Either beg me on your knees or pay me. That's what they might say, right? Or be part of my gang, aka Rusted Nation, aka aka people who kind of just chill and have fun and play games. Obviously, I'm joking, guys. Rust looks like he plays Genshin. Yeah, fuck yes. Fucking prick. Nah, okay, enough jokes, I'm being serious. I don't play Genshin. I've seen Genshin. And by the way, fuck you, by the way, guys. Because I know what you guys would say. Oh, he's not playing Genshin. He thinks it's gay. I was watching Wicked yesterday. I certainly don't think it's gay. In fact, I thought it was fucking dope. So if I can watch Wicked and think it's dope, okay, I could certainly play Genshin. I just don't. It's just not my game. It's just not my type of game.
Yeah. But if anyone does have any questions, I do play Genshin and Honkai Star Rail, so let me know, guys.
Okay. Oh, God. What do you think, and it can be from any system, is the wildest thing you've read in Typology? I feel like those questions, you cannot answer them because there's no such thing as what's the wildest thing you've heard. Because I assure you, every single fucking day I open PDB, right? And if I open it for a minute, I will see the wildest take. I believe the wildest. Right? Like I see 2 days ago. Okay, I'm gonna give you the wildest take. 2 days ago. That's how early. 2 days ago. Actually, yesterday. I opened PDB. I'm chilling. Yeah. Right? I'm just gonna scroll. Smart people. I wanna see what they say. I wanna learn. They're so open-minded, not retarded. They claim, at least, not from my observations. But then they say this. I type separately. I don't use correlations. And then they type their friends, right? I look at the list. The list has LSI SP3, 1V, VLFE. This person unironically types those fucking people. Like, most ridiculous, crazy combinations. And everyone under the comment section is like, she's so brave. Oh my god, yes. Yes, show those anti-correlationists. Oh my god, you're so smart. Look, you type separately. You dumb motherfucker. Don't tell... Bro, do you know who else types separately? Many people I know. The difference is they understand the system. You fucking don't, because you wouldn't be typing someone and the side and an SP3 at the same fucking breath. You know? So such people... Guys, see, I'm triggered. Guys, social aid. Good. Mass decapitation. I'm joking, but... I just can't. I fucking can't, okay? I can't. Which is why, and I breathe. I go through the fucking. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna comment. I'm not gonna say you're a dumb fuck. Okay, you are.
We're trying to find balance here. We're trying to find inner peace.
I'm trying to find. So I'm like, I'm thinking you are a dumb fuck. Like I believe you should be banned because you cause harm to everyone else. You are like cancer. You should be banned. That's what I'm thinking. But I know that's not good. So I'm just breathing. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Let this person. It's fine. I'm chilling. That's a normal day on PDB. You think the brain that takes? They're fucking everywhere, you know. I'm so good at being balanced.
Well, that's why this podcast is called A Journey Through Enneagram, not a journey lived through Enneagram. Struggle.
Exactly, bro. It's a journey. Who said? I mean, sometimes things go bad and they really go wrong. Looks like he plays Gacha. What is Gacha? What is Gacha?
Gacha is a style of game where you have to kind of gamble to roll for different characters. You know, like, for example, let's take Marvel Rivals. You know how they give us like all like 30 characters from the get-go? It's like a type of game where you have to farm for resources.
No.
To get the character instead.
I'm not gonna. What the fuck? Grind just to get characters? See, now you offend. Now I'm pissed. Why? Now I'm pissed. I'm not gonna grind. I wanna have a game, 35 fucking characters, and I wanna play. I'm not gonna like farm. Why am I? A fucking farm kid? No.
And it's worse than farming for it, because there's a chance you wouldn't be able to even get the character. You know, it's one step ahead, where every time you have the currency, you have to roll for it. Like you do like a slot machine, and if you don't get the right, slot results, you don't even get the character. It's crazy, yes. And this is probably one of the most popular game types out there right now.
Sorry, guys. Veronica says try not to say anything about the competition, domination. Back it up with being a joke. Challenge. Listen. Okay. What do you want me to say? You want me to say I'll say it and then, or I'm serious? Wow. And then people will say, oh my God, he's so extreme. I'm not extreme. I'm the most level-headed individual to has ever lived. The one that has ever lived. Like, the fuck? Compare me to Ring. I'm the fucking guy with the level-headed takes. He is the guy with like, you know, whoa, crazy. How about I drive to your house and we smoke a blunt? So, yo, like when I was reading the first fucking, I'm like, how about I drive to your house? I'm gonna break in. I'm like, yo, that sounds a bit fucking breaking and entering, you know? Like, you're gonna drive to my house and shit? Like, calm down, damn. Thoughts on Amy Gone Girl if you saw it? I don't know, man, you know, Amy, maybe fucking I section 5. You know, maybe she is. Maybe. Maybe she is. What's the biggest time waster was within studying typology? Time waster. I mean, listen, depends what you consider wasting time. Some people will think learning whole typology is wasting time. Some people will think all of it is not wasting time because it's subjective. But the biggest waste of time learning in typology. Oh, I know, Jungian. This might be completely like hot take. I genuinely think Jungian, like those like what's up with those fucking nerds? Like, it's a system. It's not a system. It's your grandma wrote like fucking multiple types, main types. She wrote a description and you think it's a system. Don't call it a system. You're offending me, okay? And all of my SJW friends. That's not how this shit works. It's not a system. It's a circle jerk.
It's so crazy because you can't even have conversations in modern socionic. Like socionics.
Yeah, you cannot have a conversation.
Saying,
oh, yeah, but what do you type in Jungian?
How does it fit in ESL?
It's like, yeah, but it's like, I've had people literally like not even use socionics and then they're mocking people. Like, lol, he thinks he's this Jungian type. You're a clown. Wear this. But replace this with a clown makeup. Like, dude, if you unironically use Jungian and you don't use anything else, you are legitimate. You are a legitimate clown. And luckily in the Rusted Nation, there's no clowns. We don't do that shit here, you know?
And people will say too, it's like, oh, but you like Ichazo. That's like the classic Young of Enneagram. Like, no, it's fucking not. Ichazo's original system is completely fully defined, and you can utilize that at a level that classic Young does not have. And it makes sense because Ichazo's system was in the 70s, where you have like the Jungian stuff from like turn of the century, you know, like from like almost 80 to 100 years ago. It's crazy,
bro. And it's always those like, well actually shut the fuck up. Okay, Russ looks like he would play on your Rusted Typology Minecraft server. But yeah, they do actually have a Minecraft server. We do. I don't play Minecraft, which by the way, so I've never in my entire life played Minecraft. I take pride in
really?
This. Never.
Wow.
I know. I look like a Minecraft player. I do know that, but I don't do that. But Veronica is the leader. She's the gang leader of the fucking Minecraft server. So if you want to play Minecraft, join the server and play with her if she allows you to play, of course, because she's her own boss, man. Like, women nowadays, bad bitches. She can do anything she wants. She has the power. She doesn't want you to be part of the team. You're not going to be part of the team. So take that into consideration. What MBTI would match and Social 9? I forgive you, by the way. We forgive you. Me and my friend Ring. But I'm joking. Obviously, I'm fucking Jesus Christ. I'm joking, right? I'm joking. Don't think like I'm not a fucking sitting on a throne. Well, I forgive you. It's a joke. But That's why I'm a 7 core, because I make jokes. Actually, I sometimes make jokes, and that makes me
And
an Enneagram
don't
7.
you like parties too? That's
SB.
kind of weird, right? You
Yeah,
sevens
yeah,
love
that's
parties.
that's weird. Yeah, but social 9, I always say I just type it ISFJ, man. But you know what you should do? Ignore MBTI for your sake, for the sake of your mind. I feel like I own the flat out, but I might be thinking of stuntman or burnout. I've played flat out. I played burnout. I like those both things. What I can see it. Wait. Why does Rust have a negative cantal tilt? Isn't
Uh,
okay.
what is this?
Why does Rust have a negative cantal tilt? Isn't Enneagram 8 core when you are a Lux Maxed Alpha? That's and listen, you're joking, right? But I have seen actual people who think in this way, and they use those terms like cantal tilt, and they're usually nerds. Like they're scrawny little fucks, who never lifted a dumbbell in their life. And then they go on Reddit. His fucking left nostril has fucking jizz in it. Oh my god. Like, like I know you're joking, but there are people genuinely who believe this kind of shit. It's scary. It's actually scary to think. But okay, my life advice: if you ever look at anything, and even if you worry about looks maxing, you're a clown. Instant clown, weak-willed, a pussy, bitch made, everything. Like literally, why would you be thinking about that shit? My advice to everyone who's a looks maxer: take care of yourselves, okay? Love yourselves.
And if you ever
if you ever want a surgery, you should hit this guy up. Ring. He's very good. He's a surgeon.
No. I was gonna say, if you ever in your life have self-described yourself as a high-value man,
oh my
please.
Yo, you know what? Nate Jacobs, bro. Nate Jacobs lovers. They're Nate Jacobs lovers. They look at Nate Jacobs like, Nate Jacobs, I relate to him.
Oh my god.
I feel hating on Jung is literally a skill issue. No.
Look at that face at the end. You can't even take yourself seriously.
No, hating on issues. No. You know what's a skill issue? The fact that you still are relying on Jung. Jung was a perverted old man, and you're trying to circle jerk him. What's next? A blowjob? No. That is a skill issue. Okay? We're not doing that. Disco Elysium? What is Disco Elysium?
Oh, it's a game. I haven't played it before, but it has really good reception.
Okay. Oh man, I love this one. Can an Enneagram be weak and not in the present? If yes, is there a circumstance when this can occur? We kind of talk about the Enneagram 8 like it's a fucking, oh my god, can it be in the present? Can there be weak? Any person can be weak. Any person can be weak. Now you mean physically, psychologically, any person can be weak. Can they not be in present? Yes. I mean, every human can be not in present. Maybe you find me fucking daydreaming. Oh, maybe this podcast with Ring next week. Maybe we can make it work. That's cool. Yeah. Right? But that doesn't mean shit. The pretty much, you need to think about this way. Look at the broad, not the specifics. Enneagram 8 lives in the present moment. That doesn't mean they cannot think. Like, have a moment where they think, whoa, what I'm gonna be doing in those 2 fucking weeks? Do I have any plans? That doesn't mean they cannot do that. They can do that. But generally speaking, it's someone who lives in the fucking present moment. Ring comes to me with a podcast. He says, next week, Sunday, we should have this done. And I'm saying, bro, why are you telling me this now? It's fucking Monday, bro. So why should I be working on this shit or thinking about this shit 6 days before? I will do it once there's time, once it's close enough, and I'm just gonna do it because it's time to do it. And that's the mentality, you know. You live in the moment, but that doesn't mean you're disabled. Being weak depends. Psychologically weak, it's a bit strange when you when you have a type that prioritizes strength for them to act weak. That would be very weird, because what the fuck happened to your just defense mechanism? You're supposed to prioritize strength and to become callous psychologically and basically turn weakness into strength, right? Because of the fucking whole psychology. So that's weird on a psychological, like, personality level. But physically, any 8s can be weak. Not every 8 is a huge bodybuilder. There are many 8s who are short, tall, not big, and it doesn't really matter, you know? So yes, you can be this. It's not a problem.
Next question we're gonna get is, Russ, is it possible to find an 8 that's not engaging in criminal activity? Can we find an 8 that's not currently doing something violent? I really I think it's important to have these questions, but I think that
Guys, 5 minutes and we're bouncing.
5 minutes and we bouncing. So get your questions in. But I think that people need to, I think people need to also see that, like, your average person that you can imagine, you know, that all the things that they do, like the most boring, average, mundane stuff that they do, every Enneagram subtype also performs those.
Yep, it's true. Okay, let me see. Okay. Stupid chimpanzee copies what friends who studied. Okay, stupid chimpanzee copies what the friends who studied and thinks you're smart.
Is this like an insult? I can't even tell.
Okay, I'm gonna. Wow. Wait. Stupid chimpanzee. Wait. I'm just trying to analytically. Wait? Did he say I'm the chimpanzee? I'm the monkey.
Or is he referring to somebody else?
Copies, you know, what the friends who studied and thinks you're smart. Yeah, this is deep, man. Bro, you know what? You are right. Me and I just copy what my friends say, bro. Like, literally, we all have, like, we believe in the same thing. All of us. And I just go around. Or Raven believes in IE Social 3. I believe it too. He's so right, because he's Raven. SCE Sexual 4. Oh my god. Of course. I believe it too. I'm a chimpanzee. I'm a dumb ape. I'm a monkey. I love you. Thank you. Ring. Brother. Mm-hmm. Yes. You're right. You're always correct. You're always correct. Thank you.
I'm going to say it right now. You have no idea how many insights I've derived from Russ here, from our interactions, that, of course, a lot of people with their preconceived notions on how Russ is as a person is like, no way, you know, Ring is giving him all this information, Raven is giving all this information, Javier is giving all this information, and he's just like a spokesperson. No, this is a person that I guarantee you does more reading than most of the people in the community does, and comes to me with resources and comes to me with knowledge, you know, and it's like, did you see this? Or this reminds me of this. And it's a great practical user of typology, which I absolutely appreciate.
No.
Yes.
No. I disagree. Fuck rusted typology. No.
Oh, I see.
No. I don't like him. And because I don't like him, he's a sheep. He only follows what people say. He's fourth logic. Okay? You're wrong. You are in love. You just love him. You are as bad as he is. Fuck you. Okay, guys, 2 minutes. 2 minutes, guys, 2 minutes. I know the chimpanzee questions are fucking lit, but 2 minutes. This is a hard question. Oh my god. What stereotype in general do you think is the most inaccurate? And what my friend, there's so many things to say. There are so many things to say. It's which type? You know, you'd have to specify which type. It's impossible. or yeah, the comparisons of passions. I feel like it's very easy to just plug some into the other. Avarice and envy can look super similar. Lust and gluttony. Lust and gluttony can look super similar, and they will, both individuals will relate to one another, but they have fundamental differences. This is why it's important to know what you're looking for. How can I regain your motivation in life? I saw your question about the Enneagram 8 question. Can they lose motivation? By motivation, what do you mean? You know, like as in not feeling like you want to do stuff. I feel like biggest problem with motivation is because people they think too much, and it's I know it's crazy, it sounds crazy, but when motivation is simply the eagerness to do something. But many people often they maybe they think about what they're supposed to do. Let's say a workout. I have a workout today. Oh, but do I really want to do it? Do I feel like doing it?
And then the car ride there, and it's cold
But
outside,
you're
and I like my
thinking,
machine.
exactly, you're thinking about this, and you don't want to do that. The point is, you need to work the fuck out. You need to work out, and that's it. You do not allow your mind to think about doing shit. Just do it. 5 p.m. I have a workout. I'm doing my shit. Oh, 5 p.m. I guess I need to fuck off now. Because all of us will lack the motivation to do it, which is normal. You know, not every time you want to go do it. But the truth is, it's a grind, and you need to ignore just the voice that tells you, do I really want to do it? Don't allow it. Don't even think about it. You do not contemplate your goals. You do not contemplate what you need to do. You do not contemplate motivation. You just do. And that would be my take on this, you know?
It's really, I think that motivation, and you say this a lot too, it's overrated, you know, to find motivation to do things. You gotta find a way to get your body moving, you know, to get yourself up. And that type of momentum just kind of triggers into all the different actions that you take in a day. If you get that first action going, I guarantee you'll be a lot more productive with your day for the rest of the actions as well. So stop looking at finding like some sort of euphoria to get yourself into moving and doing stuff that's good for you. Doing stuff that's good for you is not going to feel intrinsically good. It's a result that's going to be good for you later. So I would definitely look to get yourself moving any way possible.
Yeah, and that was a great question to end the stream at. Okay, I hope TeoTube is able to recover his motivation, and I hope that he gets through this shit. And remember, I feel like sometimes failure in life is just about mentality. A lot of it is mentality. I try to always have a mindset that it really doesn't matter what happens. I have to succeed. Like, if I do this and I put in the time, I will succeed. It is inevitable. And that is the mentality you need to have. Always. In whatever the fuck you do in life, you need to understand your success, you succeeding, you overcoming is absolutely inevitable. And it has to happen. Because it's like gravity. It has to happen. If you just put in the time, put in the energy, it will happen. And don't be a bitch. Don't give the fuck up. No, there's no giving up. Just keep pushing forward. Don't give up. Okay, guys. So enough of the motivational speech. We want to thank the Veronica and Off and everyone who was involved in moderating this chat, this stream. You were very helpful, and you guys did amazing. Okay, so you deserve the shout out again. Join the Discord server. Join, maybe even you want to play some Minecraft, you can join them and play some Minecraft. And yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, Typology Odyssey will be back very shortly in around 48 hours or so on Sunday. So we definitely want you to join again. It is going to be 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Timing. I think that is 8 p.m. CET. So that's more of the Europe timing. But we're going to be here, and we're going to spend the first 30 minutes to an hour all talking about Arcane and an Enneagram deep dive of all the different
Arcane. It's going to be
characters.
Arcane. This Sunday, It's gonna be lit. We loved Arcane. I loved Arcane. I don't know what this prick thinks about it. I've never talked to him about it yet, but
I know.
I'll discover his thoughts on this stream. Okay, so again, Sunday.
Might be a little controversial.
It's not gonna be fucking controversial, you prick. What you hiding? Yo,
Sunday.
I asked him about like what he types those characters. Imagine if he gave me a fake typing list. He's like, oh look, I typed those people this. Then on the stream, haha, motherfucker.
Nah. I gave you the accurate one. I wouldn't do that to you.
Okay, yeah.
That's a cheap trick.
Yeah, okay, charlatan. Okay. Anyway, guys, thank you everyone.
Thank you.
See you Sunday. Stay tuned. Rusted Nation.
Sunday.
Mas de Captain. I'm joking. Bye bye.